Oh cool, my new shoelace trimmer is here. Hey, check this out. With this device, you can trim your shoelace. Oops! Oh no, I accidentally cut the shoelace. Have you ever made a silly mistake like this? In photography, I've made a lot of mistakes, especially when I was just beginning to learn photography. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you my 7 biggest mistakes that I made as a beginner photographer, so you don't have to repeat the same mistake as I did, and you'll be able to take better photos. Let's start with the first mistake. The first mistake that I made as a beginner photographer is to believe that there exists a magic gear that will automatically make my photos better. The gear can be a camera, an apps, a photo editing software, and so on and so forth. Now, the problem with believing that this kind of solution exists is that it makes you lazy in your approach to photography. Photography is like playing a musical instrument. In order to get better at it, you need to practice, and you need to practice a lot. You need to learn how to use your equipment in certain situation, and also you kind of have to learn about the different settings, when to apply them, what to apply in different scenarios, and so on. It's important to know that the perfect gear that will make your photo looks better does not exist. Okay, you need to practice and practice a lot. Gear will help you at some point, but it will not make you a better photographer. To be a better photographer, you need to spend time mastering your gear and practicing how to use them. And only then you'll be able to improve as a photographer. The second mistake has a relation with the first one. And my second mistake was not practicing enough. You know, after I bought that expensive camera and lenses and all the accessories, I just assumed that, hey, you know, it's there. I don't have to do anything as a photographer. All I need to do is just go to a place, click the button, and hope for the best. But oftentimes that's not the case. To be able to get the best out of your equipment, you also need to know a lot about photography as well. You need to know about lighting, you need to know about composition, you also need to know about your subject matter and find something unique and present them in an angle that's really intriguing for your viewers. There are a lot of things going on besides just pressing a button on your camera in photography. And I make a commitment to myself to practice photography at least once a week. So once every week I go out and shoot. It could be landscape, it could be street, you know, it could be travel photography. So that's my commitment. And it's good if you can make that kind of commitment as well, because it will force you to practice photography. The third mistakes that I make has to do with travel photography, and it's not doing my research enough before going to a place. You know, when you do travel photography, it's very exciting. You know, you want to see the new places, you want to immerse yourself in the situation, you want to pack all your gear and just go there and shoot, you know. But doing that will not let you take better photos, because when you don't do the research, you will never know what kind of places you'll be going into, what kind of light are you gonna see there, what kind of people are you gonna meet, what are the best angles that you can take the pictures from. There are a lot of stuff going on behind the scene. It's not just about bringing your camera on your travel, snapping some photos and hope a great photo will come out of it. It's much more than that. So what I like to do before my trip is I like to go to Google and do as much research as possible about the place. In particular, I am researching about the best time of day to take the photo in the place that I'm going to. And I also love to know the kind of people that I'll be dealing with. For example, if I want to do street photography, I want to make sure that the people there are comfortable with a photographer taking their photos. In some part of the world, they are comfortable with this, but in some part of the world, they are not comfortable with this as well. So make sure you understand the customs so you don't get any trouble when you are traveling. So do your research. Doing research also comes into play when you want to buy that new gear. A lot of people just go out there and, you know, ask in the forum what is the best camera that I can get? Well, it's not really that simple. You have to know what your exact situation is, and you have to know what the camera can do for you, and that takes research as well. So always do your research, because it will save you time and money. I really hate carrying a lot of stuff because I'm a travel photographer and weight is a very important factor. The one particular thing that I really hate carrying is my tripod, okay? But this is also my biggest mistake, because a lot of the shots that I miss was usually because I didn't take my tripod. So for instance, I often forgot my tripod and I couldn't take that smooth and silky waterfall shot which requires slow shutter speed. I also couldn't take a picture of me or my group or the family member that I travel with because I forgot my tripod. When you travel deep in the woods and there was just no one around to help you take photos, you wish you had taken your tripod. So remember, before you go out to photograph, carry a tripod with you. If you hate carrying large and heavy tripod, you can buy a cheap and light version of tripod. As long as it holds the camera that you are using, you should be fine. But get one and carry them with you all the time. Mistake number 5 is not cleaning my equipment. So there are so many times where I just enjoy taking photos outside, but then I came back and I opened it in Lightroom and I saw like there are just so many dust inside the sensor, and it shows up as a spot on my monitor. It's not bad, but it's gonna make my editing time goes much longer than it usually should, because I just forgot to clean the camera, the sensor, and the lenses. So I make it a habit before I go on a shoot. I make sure I clean my camera with the rocket blower. I aim the blower to the sensor and I tilt my camera down and I give it a quick blow like 2 or 3 times and it's ready to go. Also, I do the same thing with lenses. If you want to check out my other video which will show you how I clean my camera equipment, you can check the video on the description below. But remember to always clean your equipment before you go on a shoot and after you go on a shoot, so you will not be dealing with unnecessary problem when you edit your photos. Mistake number 6 is not being thorough on my settings. When I was starting to learn photography, I was just so excited using my new camera and I shoot a lot of photos. But then when I came back and I saw the results on my monitor, I was disappointed because some of them are overexposed, some of them are underexposed, some of them are not focused right, some of them had the wrong white balance, and so on. And this is because I only look at my LCD monitor on my camera when I was out shooting. Well, the problem with that is the LCD camera will adjust to the ambient light that you are in. So for example, if you are in the bright environment, it will show you a brighter picture, so your eyes don't have to squint to adjust. But that's not the real picture. If you want to know about the real value of the picture that you are getting, you should look at the camera's histogram. Histogram is so important because it will let you know if you are properly exposed or not in your images. Also, check for focusing. In order to do this, all you have to do is just press the zoom button on your camera and make sure it's taking you to 1:1. And if everything looks right there, then you have an image that's in focus. So I check for those two when I am out shooting. I check for the exposure using the histogram and also the focusing using the 1:1 magnification zoom. The last mistake is not composing enough. When I go out shooting, I usually go out and just take one photos and that's it. One photos, one angle, and I'm done. Well, the problem with that is, how do you know if that's the best angle for that particular scene? You know, you don't. And that's why you have to experiment shooting from different angles. This takes quite a practice and also patience, but once you get into doing this will become a habit. I usually explore the angles of the subject that I'm shooting, and I try to take it from a higher vantage point or maybe a lower vantage point, you know, and do a circle all around the subject just to make sure I have all the compositions that I want and to experiment with all the possible compositions. When you are a beginner, it might take you several tries to find the best composition, but once you practice and you get good at it, it will take you quicker to do this. There you have it. Those are the 7 mistakes that I wish I didn't make when I first starting out in photography. I hope this video has helped you, and I hope you can take a much better photo after you watch this video. Hey, I need your help before you go watch my other videos. I need you to click the subscribe button and the bell, because when you do that, you help me create not just one video, but many more. Thanks for your help.